Waldo Politics is now live streaming Just Chatting Hunter guilty, but does it matter? Getting started soon. Toss any links to news stories or fun memes into the Discord. https discord gg beignet tridix 8
Oh, hi, hello, how you doing? My name is Waldo, and I am here to feel the politics with you. How are you tonight? How is everybody? I am doing good. Thanks for asking. So, um, today is Wednesday. Yeah, it's Wednesday. So, what I'm going to do is I've got a few politics stories lined up. Um, I'm going to talk about them. We'll have some feelings, and then we'll probably play a video game in about an hour or so. I'm doing pretty good on last spell. I might survive next time, but you never know. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. So I've got a couple of stories to toss out there to talk about, a couple of opinions to throw around, some feelings to be felt. If you want to feel anything with me, you hop into chat, and the lovely Lady Canooch will read your text to us.
Canooch.
There she is, lovely Lady Canooch that she is, Lord and Savior Lady Canooch. If you want to toss any stories at me to look at, feel free to hop into the Discord right here, and you can send anything you want on the Discord. Uh, Keep it to politics, though, of course, and we will put it up on screen and stuff like that. You can follow right there, and as you come across stories during the week, pop them in there. We'll take a look on stream times. Um, let's see, what do we got today? We got very important Hunter Biden stuff. The House put what's his name? Good old what was his name? I've forgotten now because I started thinking about Star Wars. What's his name? The Attorney General. Yeah. Merrick Garland. We'll talk about Merrick Garland. The Nothing Burger that is. A couple of other things. A couple of funnies that I'll look at along the way, and we'll talk about Star Wars because we have to. Because there's a new Star Wars thing. Have you seen this? Oh my God. There's a new Star Wars thing, and it's ruining everyone's childhood again. It's good. It's fine. Honestly, it's fine. I watched The Acolyte. It's on the Disney Plus now. Episode 1 was fine. I kind of saw the twin thing coming, but episode 2, fine. Episode 3, everyone loses their minds. I'm on YouTube, right? And I watch it pretty often. They're all losing their goddamn minds over episode number 3 because it isn't exactly what they want. I know that sounds stupid, but they wanted Star Wars. They wanted good guys with blue lightsabers, bad guys with red lightsabers, bang them together, and then the good guys win. That's what they wanted, I think. It's a very simplistic view of the world that most people have, and it's a very simplistic view of uh, Star Wars in general. Is they want a good guy with the blue lightsaber and a bad guy with the red one to fight each other. That's what they want. And if you're not doing that, then you're screwing up, right? That's what we wanted. This is what they wanted. They wanted this guy and this guy to do to hit and slam each other and choo. They wanted this. Yes. This is what they wanted.
Hi, how
You're
are you?
even wearing a robe. Good job,
Yeah.
Stream Wizard. Stream Wizard has a
Stream Jedi now.
Stream Jedi now. Yeah. Good job, Stream Wizard. Thank you. But that's not what they got. No, what they got is a complicated tale of people having issues and different beliefs, people looking at the Force from a different perspective. Very upsetting if you're a YouTuber. This very much upsets you because you want exactly what you want in exactly the way you want it. And if you deviate in any way, shape, or form, well, then you're ruining someone's childhood and you're an embarrassment and you're making dog shit. Um, yeah, so that's the Star Wars thing. Look, let me bring up my screen here. So what do we got? We got absolute garbage. A paid sponsored review that says it's excellent. Uh, let's see. It's sad face and grayscale. See, very sad. The word turd. Did it break Star Wars? Epic fails. Absolute worst. Very controversial. I agree it's controversial, but it's good. Let's see. The people with sad faces. Um, Breakdown. Brave disaster. Then groom them into their religion. Dude, okay. Not gonna watch other people's content, but It's fine. Trust me. The episode 3, spoilers for the Acolyte, I suppose, um, was a good show. It was fine. You've got a handful of Dathomir witches. Maybe they didn't say the word Dathomir, but they've got a handful of witches who use the Force because the Jedi's don't own it. Remember, it's everywhere. Binds us and all that fun stuff, and it's in everything and everyone and every rock and every tree. So there will be people, throw this out there, that aren't Jedi who recognize it and they see it and they comprehend it and they start to use it and things like that. But the Jedi, in their arrogance, hey, guess what? A lot of people call them arrogant, think that they own it, or they have to control the people who can use it. So what they do is they scoop the children up, and well, that's what we watch on episode 3. People from two different points of view coming at this situation. You've got the witches who have these twin girls who are force sensitive and using the force and things like that, and they think that it means certain things for their ideas and their ideology and their beliefs, which again, beliefs are the problem. So they don't want the Jedi to take these children, and the Jedi think that these people shouldn't have the power, and if anybody who has that power needs to be brought into their way of thinking, or else they will become dangerous, possibly even dangerous weapons. And the episode 3 even says it. Like the woman looks right into the camera and says, it's about power and who gets to wield it. That's the message they're trying to give to you. But it has a message. Uh, but it has a message, so they have to be very
Outrage
upset
and
about it.
drama for views, that's what it boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing, is that performative hating, performative overhate of Star Wars will get you a lot of clicks, man. I could create a whole new channel and just shit on Star Wars all day long, and I'd have way more subs than I do as a politics streamer. Absolutely, I absolutely would. And then I would try and network so that I could get on some of the bigger shows like that. Some of those videos that you saw a minute ago. Folks, they're making it woke again. The new Star Wars show started, and the first thing you see is a black woman. Oh my God! And oh, where did this come from? How did we get to this point? These women are saying things that aren't true about the Force. It's a fucking belief structure, man. Of course they believe things differently than the Jedi. Why would that surprise you? Why would you not want to see new, interesting points of view from the universe that you already know so much about? Oh my God, they one fire killed all the witches. No, it didn't. I watched one angry streamer or angry YouTuber say, "Oh, the one little fire started by a girl killed all the witches." No, the Jedi killed all the witches, you idiot. Like they're not even like they're overstating the problems they have without thinking about what possibly could be why or what could be going on in the thing. They're overanalyzing the things they hate and underanalyzing the things that they hate. It's very confusing. They were overanalyzing the hair of the children because these two twin girls who have the same hair every single day, every single time you see them, grow up and they both still have the same hair. Yeah, no shit. Well, that's impossible. Why would they still have the same hair? What? Because they had the same hair for the past 20 damn years? What are you talking about? Of course they have the same hair. It's fine. It's how the uh, audience comprehends people. Bart Simpson wears the same damn clothes every single damn episode, not because he never washes them, but because you need to comprehend who he is when you're looking at a screen. That's all it is. Anywho, um, yeah, they're overanalyzing the hair, they're overanalyzing the fire, and they're overanalyzing all the things in a negative light, but then they're ignoring some of the things that are right in front of them. I don't know. It's so weird. Like it's performative overhate, and it is vehement anti-fandom. You know that, and that'll get you a lot of clicks on YouTube. You're right, Shinsento. It is drama for views. That's what it boils down to. If I were a drama YouTuber, I could have a lot more views, and I could be way more successful. But I don't want to, because then they would win, and that would only perpetuate the YouTube hate spiral that exists. Um, I think that I'm not spitting hate, usually. Sometimes there's things that I don't like and I get all riled up about it and then I get angry, sure. But I don't think I'm a hate YouTuber. And the fact that that's the most effective way to become a big YouTuber is just hate all day, drama, and pick a person, make them your target, hate on them, let everybody know, and then the algorithm will pick it up and know who's gonna hate view it. I have a feeling that this acolyte is going to be exactly like Episode 8 from Star Wars. The Last Jedi is the name of it. I remember the numbers better than I do the titles. It's just a thing about my stupid brain. But Episode 8, Last Jedi, was good. Rian Johnson is a genius. He made a film. He made a movie instead of popcorn, bubblegum, Saturday morning kid stuff. That was the mistake. Most people see the Saturday morning cartoon kid stuff and think that it's a movie. It's not. It's kid stuff. Then they claim that it is super important and it's got all this lore and there's all these complicated and difficult things to think about and there's the backstory and there's the extended universe and all that stuff. So Rian Johnson sees that and is like, yeah, dude, let's make a whole movie. Let's make a movie. And then he makes a movie and everybody hates it, except for the critics, the people who literally judge movies for a living. I generally consider myself closer to that side than the fan side, because I critique things, I look at things, I take them apart, and I comprehend how the things move and what they're supposed to be intending to tell you. What story is Rian Johnson trying to tell you? And he was telling us something. He was telling us that the Force doesn't belong to the Jedi. It belongs to everyone. He was telling us that anybody can be a Jedi. You don't have to come from one of these very important, prestigious bloodlines. That's what he was telling you. But if you couldn't hear that message that he was trying to give you because you saw Luke Skywalker throw a lightsaber behind his back, it doesn't matter how good he is at telling that message. I think that's what happened. I think a whole lot of people within the first 5 minutes of that
My
one.
gatekeeping.
Yeah. Within the first 5 minutes of that movie, you see Luke Skywalker grab that lightsaber and throw it behind him. Because he's telling you that that's not what makes a Jedi. He's telling you that no, he's not going to help, and that gave so many people heart palpitations. They did the thing Yoda does when he loses. Where I used to have Yoda, I lost him. They're doing that thing that Yoda does when he feels the Order 66. And they have the heart palpitations when Luke Skywalker threw that thing behind his back. Because they have built him up as Jesus inside their head, and he's the greatest thing to ever exist, and he's the best that there ever was. He's not. He's just a guy, man. He's just a guy. And they built him up to super Jesus levels of belief and brain structure. Inside their brain, Luke Skywalker is super Jesus. And so when he throws the thing behind his back, even though he did that in when he fought the Emperor, in Return of the Jedi, he cuts off Vader's hand. He looks at that broken robot hand, and then he looks at his own hand, and he's like, "Oh."
Yoda did the exact same thing by burning down that tree with the Jedi texts in it.
Right. Well, we'll get to that. I think that was a weird misdirect. So yeah, he sees the hand, and then he sees his own robot hand, and he's like, "Oh, this is how you turn to the dark side. I'm gonna stop doing that." And he throws the weapon away. He threw it away back in the 80s. And then he looks at the Emperor and he's like, "I'm a Jedi, like my father before me," And he doesn't need the lightsaber to beat you. But because they don't remember that, they just remember the cool sword fights. They don't remember that, honestly. I think a lot of people forgot that before they went in to watch Episode 8 and just threw a fit and screamed bloody murder. And because they screamed bloody murder, Episode 9 was a shit show, top to bottom, beginning to end. They said, "Hey, we're not making movies anymore." Episode 8 was a movie with a plot and a dialogue, and it followed the whole circle of um, Bruce Campbell. No, who's that Campbell guy? The hero of a thousand faces. It followed Campbell's Hero of a Thousand Faces with the story arcs and stuff like that. That bombed. Everybody hated that. I loved it, and the critics loved it. That's why it has such a high score on Rotten Tomatoes with the critics and such
Joseph
low with the thing.
Campbell.
Joseph Campbell, that's my boy. Um, thanks, Popog. It had Joseph Campbell's circle in there, and that was a movie, and they could not do that again. No, we're not doing that again. So episode 9, what we get is popcorn bubblegum Saturday morning nonsense, and that's what we got. So the Acolyte is closer to something Ryan Johnson would do. It really is. It's not a popcorn bubblegum Saturday morning cartoon, and the people who want it to be are upset on the internet as usual, and they're paid to be upset, honestly. They're rewarded for being upset by the YouTube algorithm. It's amazing. It's a weird culture we live in.
Episode 8 is the best Star Wars movie if it was set 1,000 years apart from the main films.
I think Episode 8 is one of the best ones. It's, in my opinion, it's second behind Empire Strikes Back, which I think I got a little Empire Strikes Back thingy.
Hey, tots on Michael Collins.
Michael Collins? I don't know who that is. Username 656. Fill me in. Who's Michael Collins? But the point is that, yeah, I think 8 is fantastic. I think it was really well made. I think it was exactly what I wanted.
Thank you for following username 656.
You turned a freaking frog gay. You turned a freaking frog's gay. Thank you. I appreciate the follow. So, yeah, I think that's what we're getting with this new Acolyte show. I did some spoilers earlier, but I won't do them again. But the Acolyte show is closer to a Ryan Johnson
like
jam.
As a movie, it's very good, but it is the worst episode of its trilogy and does not connect well to the main trilogy.
I agree, it doesn't connect well. And I think it was made, I think that's because it was made by a guy who was trying not to make Saturday morning cartoon stuff, schlock. He was not trying to make stuff. He was trying to make a movie. And he took all the important stuff and he tried to make it more serious than it usually was. And I think episode 8 was a lot more serious than it usually was. And that made me feel better because I've matured. I have matured.
He is a famous guy in Ireland.
Famous guy in Ireland? Is that even a real place, Ireland? Never been there. But yeah, I've matured since Saturday morning cartoons and since the 80s. So I was happy when it matured. I liked that. That was a good choice. And then he even says it right there in the movie, episode 8. Let the past die. Kill it if you have to. He was talking to you. He was talking to you, the Star Wars fan. Let the past die, even if you have to kill it. That's what he was telling you. And most of the fans couldn't comprehend it because they'd had the heart palpitations from seeing Luke Skywalker throw the thing behind his back. And they were like, oh, and then they died. And then being dead,
interesting, I have the
they watched
exact
the entire
opposite feeling. I felt an 8er, like I woke up to a late night episode of Flash Gordon.
Really? Okay.
A.
Yeah, you woke up a late night episode of Flash Gordon. Well, Flash Gordon's I don't know how you got there. It was a little more adult, I think. And I love the message that anybody could be a Jedi. The fact that Kylo tells her that her parents were just drunks who sold her for drinking money, that's brilliant. That's fantastic. Because at the end, again, and I'm not even kidding, Thomas didn't even know this about Broom Kid when the little boy grabs the broom with the Force at the very end. He didn't see it because he'd had a heart palpitations while watching the movie. His heart stopped, and then he was in a fugue state of anger, rage, and his childhood being murdered in front of his eyes.
I am gonna have to go because it's getting very late here where I am and also I live in Ireland.
Okay, well, I appreciate you coming in. Thanks for saying hello.
Palpitations.
Palpitations, that's right. He was having palpitations right there in the theater. And when I mentioned, it was the second stream he and I ever did, a year and a half, almost 2 years ago. I mentioned Broom Kid at the very end, who was playing with toys of Luke Skywalker, telling this
No bother,
grandiose
pal.
version. I'll look up that person as well. I'll save it in chat and I'll look up who that is later. Is he political? Um, so yeah, then I thought that was brilliant. The very end of episode 8 is gorgeous. You've got the poor kids who made their own toys, who then like tell these grandiose stories about Luke Skywalker that aren't real. They're overly fictional, just like the people watching the movie who thought Luke Skywalker was Super Jesus. They thought he was more than he actually ever was. They built him up in their heads. This is brilliant. This is what the fans have done anyway. And he put fans in the story. And then one of them grabs the broom with the Force and doesn't even know he did it. Broom Kid doesn't know he's using the Force, and he's holding it up like a lightsaber there at the end. Gorgeous. Anybody can be a Jedi. You don't just have to be from one of the proper bloodlines. You don't have to be trained at exactly the temple on Coruscant. It's for everybody. And that's what he's trying to tell you.
So my feeling in Ader was also one of immense disappointment because I realized they didn't have any plans for the trilogy, which was the rope I was giving the first one. Literally making a connection with fans new and old.
I thought so, Malcidian.
And they turned that rope into the noose that was the third film.
Well, I think that that is the way that they had to go. Episode 7 is made by J.J. Abrams. J.J. Abrams only does two things: nostalgia and questions with no answers. That's it. That's all J.J. Abrams is good at. He's perfect for episode 7. Nostalgia. It was heavy in nostalgia. They went to a cantina. There was a desert planet. There was a poor little kid who's good with machines. There's a cool little robot that makes funny noises. We go on a journey. We get into the Falcon. Everybody feels good. You feel good when it goes into the Falcon. And then he says, "Chewie, we're home. Chewie, we're home." And everybody feels good. This is nostalgia. It feels good on your nostalgia bones. Then they have a new Death Star, which is just a fucking death planet. It's not a space station. It's an entire planet. And then they blow it up in a thing where somebody snuck in and broke the thing. It's very nostalgic. It's exactly like the old movies, because that's what they wanted. It's coming back after 20 years. When was it? 20 years? Might have been 20 years. Or 10 years or 15 years or something like that. But even then, nobody liked the prequels. So it's been 20 or 30 years since you saw that. So it was good that they threw it in there out of nowhere. And we needed to get back to what it once was. Great. The past was the past. Now let's go to the present. And you get Rian Johnson making an actual movie, making a movie that I think was actually quite good. And the fans hated it.
Kylo Ren being a scramo kid really disconnected me.
I liked it. He was wearing his grandpa's shoes. Have you ever, when you were a child, did you wear your dad's shoes? That's what he was doing. Except his dad, his grandpa, is Darth Vader. So he's wearing that stupid mask. And the fucking guy tells him to take off that ridiculous mask. God, that was good. That was fantastic. Stop trying to be like the past. That's what that entire movie's message was. Stop being like the past. Move forward. Move on with your life. Get some new cool stuff. Don't attach yourself to the past.
I like that he wanted to be Vader. He didn't need to be an emo kid. I wanted a little more thought and a little else emotion from Kylo.
Well, he's technically a Skywalker. So all Skywalkers are emo bitches, man. I'm sorry. They all are. Kylo and Anakin and Luke. They're all kind of whiny bitches. That's not fair. I want to go to Tashi Station and buy some power chargers. Uncle Owen, you told me I could go this year. Kind of whiny. You know what I'm saying? And Anakin, I don't need to tell you how whiny Anakin is. He's whiny all the time. You saw it. We all saw it. So when
Kylo bothers me like Zenitsu does from Demon Slayer.
Zenitsu, is that Nacho Kid, the little yellow kid, the kid with the yellow thing with the He's got a cheese-colored. I call him Nacho Kid because I hate Japanese names, but he's got a
Yes.
Yeah, he's got a cheese-colored thing, and then it's got triangles all over it, which are tortilla chips. He's the Nacho Kid, and that's what I like to call him because I think it's funny that he's Nacho Kid. And he does. He just screams. I watched the latest episode of that last night as well, and he just screams the whole time. And he irritates the hell out of me. That's why I quit watching One Piece because they wouldn't shut the hell up. Anyway, Ryan
At
Johnson.
Malcidian, that's where the emo comes in. He's trying to do be Vader and is always falling short.
Right, he's trying to be Vader, and he doesn't know how. He's never actually met the man, but he just has secondhand stories, and he's like he's wearing his dad's suit. He's gone into his grandpa's closet, put on the suit, put on the shoes, put on the hat. All of it's too big. It doesn't fit, and he doesn't know how to handle himself. This, I think, is brilliant. This is a great story. Uh, but what do we lose? What happens is Ryan Johnson, I think, made a movie. The fans hated that movie, even though it specifically called them out and said, let the past die, kill it if you have to. That is a direct message to you, the fan. Let the past die, kill it if you have to. And I think that's a brilliant message. I love that message. It's very progressive. Uh, kill the old people. That's the progressive message. Anyway, the because it was so shocking, they abandoned making movies and fired him and brought J.J. Abrams back to just make popcorn Saturday morning bubblegum again. And that's what they did. They said, we're hitting all four quadrants. I don't care what the lore says. I don't care what the fans say. We're hitting all the quadrants. We're making the most plain Jane, everybody's going to like it movie. And even if that means it doesn't have any soul or personality, that's fine. Soul and personality are for fucking film festivals. We're hitting every quadrant. We're hitting everybody with this movie. I don't care if it makes any sense, and they didn't, and it didn't make any sense, and it made shitloads of money if I remember correctly. But I could be wrong about that. But now we've got the Acolyte, which is fine, honestly. If you watched the witches do things with the Force and then cried about that's not how the Force works, like what the fuck? The Force is just that's how the Force works however they want it to work. It's magic, bro. They've never done that with the Force before, but yeah, it's magic. Uh, it's magic. That's all there is to it. Some people are going to see that from a different point of view, and that different point of view is important. Now, how does this connect to politics? I'm glad you asked because it does. The people who are on YouTube are either just rage baiting for the clicks. But if you've got a true believer, you've got somebody who watched The Acolyte and thought that it was terrible and awful and not how the Jedi are supposed to be, or that they didn't like the way the witches were doing the Force stuff, it's because they can't see things from someone else's point of view. I think this is actually political because everything's political. I think that they can't see anything from anyone else's point of view. And I think they're incapable. They can't comprehend how someone else would view the Force because they've been seeing it from their point of view. Putting yourself in someone else's shoes and looking back at yourself is very difficult. It is a mental exercise that I don't think a lot of people can do. I'm going to be political here, say mostly conservative types. They can't look at other people, comprehend how those people made their choices, and then sympathize with them. We were talking about what's her name, Mrs. Alito on the last stream, and her stuff like that, and she was very upset about the gay pride flag and having to look at it, and that's why she needs to put up her Jesus flag. She can't comprehend how someone else could make decisions and come to different outcomes and become a completely different person. She thinks that if you aren't just like her, you've made a mistake. And that's what I think these true believers, these people who really hate the Acolyte, are thinking. I suspect that's how they're feeling. It's not the way I liked it. It's not the way I wanted it. It's not the way I remember it. But the reason for that is because it's being looked at from a different point of view. And that's fun. I like different points of view. I think it's interesting. Um, Looking at the same situation from 5 different points of view is brilliant and fun and interesting, and you can get someone else's thoughts about something like that. Guess what? Ryan Johnson, Last Jedi, Episode 8 had the same scene played from 2 different points of view. It had Luke Skywalker standing over Kylo Ren with that lightsaber in his hand, and he feels bad, and then he isn't going to attack him, and he makes the decision not to attack him. But Kylo Ren doesn't know that. He sees the guy standing above him, and then he panics and freaks out. So it's the same situation from 2 different angles. Fantastic. I don't think it's a coincidence that that's those are the one. These are the acolyte seeing things from 2 different perspectives, and uh, Ryan Johnson's Episode 8 seeing things from 2 different perspectives is the one that pisses people off. I think that that's part of it. I think there's some sort of psychological thing happening here where the idea of seeing something from someone else's perspective is frightening to a lot of people. And in their fear, what does that lead to? Leads to anger. And then they make YouTube videos, and then that YouTube video leads to more anger, and that leads to suffering. Boom, you just been Star Warsed. I'm so good at this. But I'm going to close that, and I'm going to show you this photo of the one of the Jedi. They called him Jedi Master Cholesterol. Kind of funny. I kind of like it.
Fear leads to hamburgers, and hamburgers lead to pizza, and pizza leads to suffering.
According to this guy, I mean, how's he going to resist the dark side if he can't resist cake? The dark side has cookies. Don't you know that? The dark side has cookies. They got this motherfucker. They got him. I mean, I'm a fat guy too. I wouldn't resist the dark side if they had cookies. Like, I'll go anywhere if there might be cake. Like, if there's gonna be hamburgers and pizza, I'm going, man. Let's go. That's all the dark side has to do. Be like, hey, we got hamburgers. We're having a barbecue. I'd be like, all right. Dark side barbecue.
They
Let's
get
do
me
it.
too.
They get you too, yeah. Dark side barbecue. They got beer and pizza. I'd be like, fuck, man. The dark side got beer and pizza. Okay. Okay, let's just go see what they're. Let's just go see. Let's go see. Let's go check. Let's go find out what they're doing. Let's just go talk to them. Okay. All right, we're gonna close that, and then we're gonna talk about the actual politics, not the fake politics. So, what are we looking at? We're looking at Hunter Biden found guilty. Oh my God. Will the Biden crime family never stop? Will Biden's DOJ never stop convicting criminals? I can't. Someone must stop them. The DOJ is convicting people of crimes that they've committed, and I'm not here for it. Okay, I've
Just
had
a little genocide, on a temporary basis.
I've had enough of this DOJ putting together intricate cases, proving what people did that was against the law, and then proving it in a court, and then punishing them for it. This has gone on long enough. This has gone way too far. We can no longer be punishing the people who commit crimes. Just kidding. It's fine. Like, this is exactly what we expected. He had a whole clusterfuck around a plea deal that the Republicans hated. The fact that he could get a plea deal. The Republicans honestly didn't sabotage the plea deal. Nobody did. The defense and the prosecution and the judge all fucking had issues with that plea deal. They all had their own problems with it. And then it fell apart because it's 3 complicated people who all want different things. And it fell apart. That happens. So we get the trial. And he's been found guilty. But that still doesn't make the Republicans happy because that proves that the fix is in. You see, if he's been found innocent, that's because the DOJ is crooked and working for Joe Biden and let him off of his crimes. And if he's been found guilty, that means that the DOJ is crooked and working for Joe Biden to cover up the crimes. It's a very complicated scenario, but we've got it kind of laid down right here. I think this guy. There he is. Okay, so this guy's going to lay it out for you. I'm going to turn the volume up, and then we're going to go here and look at this guy who's going to lay it all out for you.
All aspects of
Lock
this
him up,
point
cares
to
just not our guy.
preferential treatment. All aspects of this point to preferential treatment for the Biden White House, to include, to wrap it up, Merrick Garland, as you mentioned, who should be just release the tapes of what
Very
the interview
complicated
looked like
ass
on the
pullery.
special counsel. He won't, because he's guarding the Biden family. You remember when Obama asked for loyalty? Well, Biden's getting his loyalty, and that's what Merrick Garland's doing right now. Republicans doing the right thing, but of course the Justice Department, in this instance, won't move an inch.
It is, yeah, you're right. It is very complicated ass pullery. If he's innocent, that proves the DOJ is crooked and proves that the Biden crime family. If he's guilty, that proves that the DOJ is
What did
guilty.
Obama ask for
And
loyalty?
he didn't. He interviewed Merrick Garland one time before he chose him for putting him up for the Supreme Court. The president's job, literally the president's job, is to choose someone to go to the Supreme Court. And Obama met with him for lunch and was like asking him what he thought about certain situations and about things like that. He interviewed him for the job. And to a Republican, this was a loyalty test. This was a loyalty test. See, Obama brought out Merrick Garland that time to tell him, you're going to be loyal and you're going to do exactly what I tell you. And if you don't do exactly what I tell you, I'm going to replace you with somebody else. That's what the Republicans said. That's what they thought. And because they made that up, they just get to talk about it for the next 50 fucking years. They made it up.
I remember a certain turmeric-colored person demanding loyalty.
I sure do.
Yeah, that's what struck me. It seems like another Republican projection.
Donald Trump absolutely demands loyalty from his people. He does. He demands it. And if you don't give it to him, he dumps you off the side of the road, or he calls you names, or he makes fun of you and insults you and tries to get you unelected or removed from your post and stuff like that. And when he calls them my military, my beautiful military, my attorney generals, my senators, my Republicans, he says my all the time because he thinks that they belong to him.
If the right does it and it's controversial, they blame everyone else of doing the same.
Well, that's the very typical thing. If you do suggest, hey, the right does this, they'll say, well, the left does it also. Everybody does it. That's part of the game. Which means, yeah, so when the Dems do something, it's a criminal act that needs to be prosecuted. When the Republicans do something, that's just how the game works. When they do the exact same thing, that's just how the game works. That's how the game is played. What are you, a rube? What are you, some sort of, naive, Malcidian? You're naive, aren't you? Thinking that everybody plays the game fairly and honestly and with the best of intentions. No, everybody's out to get you. And if you don't get them, they're going to get you first. So yeah, it's a mess. And it's dumb. And
I have to cheat just to compete.
Yeah, if you're not cheating, you're not trying. Let's see. So what's next is sentencing. Why Republicans are left disappointed by Hunter Biden's conviction. The Trump campaign reportedly thought it was going to be a fundraising bonanza for them if Hunter Biden was acquitted, because they thought he could go on TV and scream about how it was rigged. It's rigged. He's been acquitted. It's clearly a shit. I should put the stupid fucking things on the screen. I suck at this. All right, we're starting this one over. All right, ready? Start over. Why Republicans are left disappointed by Hunter Biden's conviction. The Trump campaign reportedly thought it would be fundraising bonanza for them if Hunter Biden was acquitted. They really did think that he was going to be found not guilty or acquitted, and they would be able to put that in all their emails and all their fundraising campaigns. It's rigged. The Biden crime family continues to break the DOJ. They come after me with their fake indictments, but Hunter Biden, clearly a criminal, very crime guy, did all the things in Ukraine and all the things in Russia and bought all the guns and did all the drugs and did all the hookers and did all the cool things and did all the things that we don't like. And then he wiped servers and he had a laptop from hell. The laptop from hell, folks. The laptop from hell. You can't make it up. Except they did make it up. They make things up. The accusation is all that matters.
Just
That's
like
why I say it
Jesus,
all the
he
time.
was convicted.
Just like Jesus, I was convicted. They make things up. Then after making the things up, they repeat
The
them
bigliest criminal ever.
as if they were real. So that gets the rubes to give more money to Donald Trump because that's what he wanted. He wanted more money. Please give me more money. Donald Trump is going broke. He needs lots more money, and he needs you to give it to him. And the best way to do that is controversy and rile people up and convince them that they're going to die if they don't give you a little bit of money. And so, yeah, most of the things about Hunter Biden were made up. Yes, he was on a board for an energy company in Ukraine based on his name. That's just basic cronyism. That's not illegal. That board is allowed to hire whoever they want. They can, in fact, hire Hunter Biden and then brag about how Hunter Biden's on their thing. That's fine. They can. They're allowed to do that. But if he leverages his connection to Joe Biden, the vice president, and
If
makes
Trump
money
hadn't
from it.
bulldozed people and systems his entire life, he'd be considered a beggar.
Right. So if he leverages his position against his connection to Joe Biden, vice
Case
president
in
at the
point,
time.
any child with the name of Trump.
Yeah, I know. We're gonna get to that in a minute. But yeah, they do exactly that thing, and they're only on a board because their last name is Trump, and somebody thinks that they can get something out of them. Uh, Everybody gets something out of everybody. If you're working at McDonald's for $15 an hour, they're getting something from you. You're getting money from them, not enough, and they're getting work out of you. Everything is transactional. Even those high-level boards, they hire Hunter Biden, they hire one of the Trump kids, so that maybe someday they can do something for them. You know, I'll give you a job and I'll give you some money, and maybe if we need it, you call your dad up once or twice. If they do that criminally, it's illegal. I'm on board for making that illegal.
Marvin Heemeyer bulldozered systems better than Trump ever could.
That makes sense. Yeah, and if Hunter Biden did illegal things while on that board for the Ukrainian energy company, then prosecute him. There's no evidence of it. If Joe Biden was giving bribes or taking bribes, find the evidence, prosecute them. There is no evidence. It's completely unprosecutable because they don't have evidence of it. They have veiled conspiracies. They have accusations. The accusation is all that matters. To a lot of the people on the Republican side, they don't care what the evidence is. They don't understand what evidence is or why it would be in court. They just know that the people on their TV said Joe Biden bad. That means he's crooked and corrupt. The Joe Biden crime family, the Joe Biden crime family with the laptop from hell. Um, the that accusation is all that matters to them. They don't need to know what the actual rules are. They don't need to see it in court. They don't need to know that he was found guilty or anything like that. They just know what they.
Here's my hot take:
like.
Hunter Biden's conviction should be a Fifth Amendment violation.
And I honestly have heard people talk about that already, because that's the seizure one. That's the one where wait, Fifth Amendment. Because the Fifth Amendment, because they forced him to testify.
You should NT be required to self-incriminate to buy a gun.
Oh, self-incrimination to buy a gun. Okay, I got you. Yeah, because the paperwork that he filled out asked you, are you a user of illegal drugs? And he marked no. That's the huge crime that he committed. And I recognize that that's a crime, and I can recognize that it could be a Fifth Amendment violation. I'm on board for that. That's why the NRA and the Republicans hate this actual law. They don't like that paperwork, and they don't want it to happen. But it's happening to Hunter Biden, so we're gonna be okay with it for a little bit. After Hunter Biden gets sentenced, then we'll push to have it removed in the Supreme Court via the Fifth Amendment. And as usual, it's always it's a leftover. This little checkbox on the form, leftover from the drug war. It really is. Have you used any illicit substances, any federally illegal drugs in the past 18 months? You could have had a case of beer for breakfast this morning, and you're still allowed to mark no on that thing. A case of beer a day is fine, but one joint 17 and a half months ago,
Have
and
you
you're
ever
illegal.
injected a marijuana?
I've never injected any marijuana. I drip it into my eyes, you see. Uh, I've got a little thing. You crush it and and it shoots directly into your eye. It's very great. Uh, but yeah, a case of beer for breakfast, you're fine. You're allowed to buy that gun. One joint 17 and a
Piss
half
test
months
me right
ago.
now.
17 and a half months ago, and you're ruined. You cannot buy that gun. But he was actually
Good
taking.
call, no track marks.
Yeah, see? Uh, so, yes, it was dumb. I don't think that that's a good law for the reasons that Popok is mentioning. The NRA kind of has a point, and the Republican and the gun people have a point.
KBP, stop trying to sell me your piss, I don't want it.
He's clean, man. I'm telling you, this guy's clean as hell. I don't know why you haven't started up that side business yet, KBP, of selling clean piss. Uh, so yeah, it didn't cause anything that we thought was going to happen. This is going exactly like we thought it would. Hunter's a bad guy. He's a fuck up. He was on drugs a lot, and he did a bunch of fucked up things. I am hereby, listen, this is important. I hereby swear, I promise, I, Waldo, will not vote for Hunter Biden for president. See how easy that was? I promise not to vote for him for anything. Ever.
KBP just needs to rebrand KBP Gamer Girl Carbonated Piss.
Ooh, carbonated. How many sodas do you have to drink to get it that way? That's kind of good. Throw one Alka-Seltzer tablet in the jug, and then you pee in the jug. Brilliant. I think you're on something there. It's bubbly. It'll taste better. It's more refreshing.
RX strength.
So yeah, the right's upset that he didn't. The right's always upset. They're always outraged. It's just a day when they're outraged. That's just how they are, you know. They're upset when he gets off with crimes. They're upset when he gets punished for crimes. They're upset when the things that they make up about him don't turn out to be true. They're upset when the things they make up about him are proven to be false. That makes them upset. They're upset a lot of the time. It's a very upsetty spaghetti group of people. Those Republicans over at Fox News. Does this change anything? Does it matter? No. God, no. It's just not going to do anything for anybody anywhere. He's going to get probably a few years. What do you think about the sentencing? I know that 25 is the number that the media is tossing around, but I bet it's only 2 or 3, honestly. I bet they give him 2 or 3, and then Joe Biden will not pardon him. Absolutely not. And there's the difference, right? There's the fucking
34.
difference. 34? What? I heard 25, but okay. There's the difference. Political scholars for the past like 5-6 years have been trying to figure out whether or not Trump can pardon himself. And we know he will try. I have no doubt that if Donald Trump wins, he will try to pardon himself from even if the crimes were guilt. He'll try and pardon the state crimes. He'll try. I'm not saying he will or he'll accomplish it. I think he'll fucking try. And Joe Biden is not going to do that. He's not going to pardon his son. He's probably not going to commute his sentence either. I bet he could, and I'm willing to bet somebody's talking to him about that, but I bet he doesn't. I bet there's a short sentence, 2-3 years, something like that, and it doesn't get commuted because there's a difference. If I'm wrong here with my predictions, and I am often wrong with my predictions, predicting things is hard, especially the future. But if he does do the commutation thing or the pardoning thing, I will come back here and apologize and tell you that I was wrong. But I don't think he's going to, because I think he has more principle than that. I think he has more ethics than that. I think he sees that Donald Trump is doing the things that he doesn't like, and he's not going to also do them. It's one side cheats if you're not cheating or trying, and the other side is the Dems are pointing at all the cheating, and the Republicans are doing all the cheating, saying that the Dems are doing the cheating, but they're lying. The Dems aren't doing the cheating, and I don't think he's going to do this cheating as well. I don't think he's going to, but I could be wrong. I will watch it and see. So let's see if there are any other things to talk about.
He's going to sacrifice his son just like Jesus.
Yeah, exactly. And then we can we can thank him for his sacrifice. House votes to hold Attorney General Merrick Garland in contempt for withholding Biden audio. Oh my God. Except not really, because this happens all the time. AGs get held in contempt all the time. Nothing happens. Doesn't matter. Really doesn't. Bill Barr held in contempt. Eric Holder held in contempt. Was one before that. I think, no, Jeff Sessions never was. There was one other one for Bush. There was one for Bush that I think they got held in contempt as well. Yeah, it's a thing that happens. Why is he being held in contempt? Well, because he won't give Republicans the audio tapes of old man Biden. Joseph Biden, President of the United States, don't know if you've ever heard of him, he's kind of a big deal, was interviewed about his classified documents by a special counsel. That special counsel recorded the audio, turned it into a text file that the Republicans have. They have the text file. You have the text file. I have the text file. Everybody can read the text file. Everybody. But here's the thing. Republican voters can't read, first of all. Very important. Second, they don't want to read. And third, he doesn't sound like an old man if you're just reading it. James Comer wants the audio so that he can put it on the news, on Fox News, so that Biden can talk really slowly and confusedly and seem really old and lost, and then he wanders off and he starts talking about ballpoint pens or something nobody knows, and then they have all the texts, but what they want is the sad old man talking into a microphone. It's hitting a little too close to home for me. They want him talking audio-wise so that they can put it on Fox News and the people watching Fox News can feel like he's old and too old to be president and then not vote for him. That's what they want. That's what James Comer wants. There's no justice here. There's no fighting for the secrets that are hidden from you by your government. No. They just want old man voice on Fox News. Let's see. Garland is the third Attorney General to be held in contempt in Congress. Yet it's unlikely the Justice Department, which Garland oversees, will prosecute him. Let's see. Yeah, Jim Jordan said this contempt resolution will do very little other than smear the reputation of Merrick Garland, who will remain a good and decent public servant for no matter what Republicans say about him. That makes sense. And there was one other thing. Yeah, here you go. On the last day to comply with the Republican subpoena for the audio, the White House blocked the release of invoking executive privilege. Instead, the Republicans in Congress only wanted the recordings to chop them up and use them for political purposes. The Republicans who tell me all the time.
This reminds me of the King of the Hill meme, if those kids could read.
I know, if the Republicans could read, they'd know what it says in them. They can choose to read them. We know what it says in them. You can go read them right now. You just can't have the audio. And yeah, it's political. The only reason the Republicans are asking for it is because they want to play it on the news and chop it up and turn it into sound bites so that they can put up 60-second videos, maybe 4-second videos on Fox News to reach their viewers, telling him he's old, he's doddering, he's confused, he doesn't know what he's saying, don't vote for him. And the Democrats don't want it released for that same reason. They don't want old man Biden's secret diary to get out, or even though you can read the whole damn thing. They don't want his audio blog, his vlog. They don't want old man Biden's vlog to get out because then he'll look stupid and old. And they're trying real hard to make him not look stupid and old. Entirely political. Both sides being political here. And that's why it's fine. And I'm looking at it and telling you both sides. Both sides suck for different reasons. And it doesn't matter. You can already read everything in there. It's not like the government's hiding something from you. They're not hiding anything. You can read it. So let's see. What else do we have? And Merrick Garland being held in contempt doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Nobody's going to do anything about it. Doesn't change anything. Doesn't make him better or worse. It's just another day. Tomorrow will go on as if nothing happened. Senate Democrats launch probe of foreign payments to Jared Kushner's firm. Oh my God. What? Okay. This has been a long time coming. I don't know why they waited so long. Why did we wait so many years to figure out whether or not this guy is taking bribes? That Senator Ron Wyden of Oregon wants affinity partners to explain his investment schemes. Did you have to wait for a while to do it? Why didn't you do it like 4 or 5 years ago? Saudi Arabia gives Donald Trump's son-in-law $2 billion, and nobody looked into it until now. Is Saudi Arabia bribing Kushner? Clearly. Obviously. No shit. Everybody knows that. Why did you wait 5 years to bring it up? I thought this was a big deal 5 years ago. What have you been doing, Ron Wyden? You been busy? Where you been? 5 years late. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me that they would just ignore it for so many years until now, but right before the election. Guess what? That's why Ron Wyden's doing it, because the election's about to happen, and he wants Donald Trump to look bad. Again, politics is making holding people accountable for the problems that they cause real difficult.
Political potency,
right. If they had done it 5 years ago and found out that it was a bad thing to do, we wouldn't be talking about it today. They want us to talk about it right before the election. I don't like it when the Dems do that. I don't. I don't like it when you do that, Ron Wyden. I don't like it when you do that, Jack Smith. I don't like it when you wait until right before the election to hold people responsible for the crimes that they've committed. Do it sooner. Start sooner. I don't know why you couldn't have started years ago. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know why you wouldn't start sooner. Because now they get to delay, and that's what we're looking at with the Jack Smith thing and the Florida case down in about the documents down in Florida. They have delayed so long, and they've put up every roadblock they can, and it's neither of those things are going to happen, or the Georgia case. There's 3 cases about Donald Trump. They're going to happen after the election. What the hell? What have you been doing for 3 years? Get that shit started sooner, you damn fools. And we could have figured these things out already. I think it's important for the people who are voting to know whether or not Donald Trump has committed a bunch of crimes. That would be nice information to have if you're deciding on who you're going to vote for. Wouldn't that be nice if you knew who was a criminal before you had to vote for them? But no, we got to wait until after, because we're bad at timing, because we're trying to get the maximum political potency out of this prosecution. It's a shit way to operate things. Dems suck, and I'm unhappy that they're the only option I have. Honestly, I get to vote for.
Who was the dude in U.S. history that ran for president from jail?
I think Dubois. I want to say, wasn't that his name? Du Bois. He didn't win.
Tiger King.
Tiger King? Yeah. I can't find it. What was that? What was his name? I forgot his name. He was a leftist, though. Kind of a leftist. And I don't remember his name. I'll find it later. But yeah, one guy ran from prison. I want to say it was Dubois, something along those lines. Regardless. Yeah, it was the Tiger King. That's what he did.
Fucking Eugene V. Debs.
Debs, not Du Bois. It was Debs. Eugene V. Debs. Yeah, Debs ran. He was a socialist too, I want to say. Cool guy. He was an actual populist, if I remember correctly, and I could just be talking out my ass, but I think he was an actual socialist and a populist, rather than the fake populist that Donald Trump pretends to be. So what other things do we have today?
He got 6%.
6%. Okay. Here's a silly from Twitter. Here we go. Webcap screen. I'm going to turn the volume up. Boop, boop. Then we go here and we play it.
Beer and birth control and free college. What a nice deal. Please vote for us. Is that going to work?
Yes.
Beer and birth control and free college. What a nice deal. Please vote for us. Is that going to work?
Sounds great. What are you complaining about? I like beer. I like it when women can take birth control, and I like free college. This is great. You just sold me on the Democrat
sounds
Party.
good.
Sounds good to me. Way to go, Sean Hannity. You just turned another person to the left. Good job. Okay. So yeah, that one was funny. That one made me laugh. I liked that one. All right. So I'm going to close that. It is 8 o'clock. That means it's time for Vigi Games.
Healthcare, education, beer.
Yeah, I know. Healthcare, education.
Sign me up.
This is great.
Sean just jealous of college students.
Yeah, he is. He just wants to be like them. He's upset and unhappy that he is an old man now, and I get that, dude. I'm an old man. I get it. Being old sucks, but and you really wish you could hang out with the young kids, but you can't. You gotta give it up, man. You don't want to be that 50-year-old guy standing around the.
There's no such thing as a free lunch.
I know it's not free college. It's paid for by taxes. I get it. But he calls it free to discourage it. So I'm going to start up a video game, and I'm going to run downstairs, and I'm going to grab a beer, and because I like beer, and we're going to play that video game again. Play last spell, just like last Monday. And if you are watching, if
Night,
you're paying
Waldo.
attention, good night, KBP. Thanks for coming.
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi. Feel free to talk about Star Wars while I'm playing that game. Absolutely. If you are watching and want to watch old videos, you can go to YouTube.
https www.youtubecom at waldovideos.
And from there, you can watch all the old videos, and you can watch all these old streams, and you can see all of the old things that I've thought about and talked about and stuff like that.
Han shot simultaneously.
Han shot simultaneously. How dare you? And you can go there and watch stuff, become a subscriber, press the thumbs up and all that fun stuff. I like those. And if you want to get in on the conversation,
Discord. https discord gg beignet tridix 8.
you can do so from the Discord. Go there and put links to fun stories, put cool memes, and if you've got a good story or something on there, I'll bring it onto the screen and we'll look at it and we'll all feel it together. So that is all of that. I am
Han shot in a superposition of time, a super time if you will.
a super time. Let's get this game started. Speaking of games, I watched the latest character profile thing from Path of Exile 2. I'm absolutely playing Path of Exile 2. It looks so good. When Path of Exile 2 comes out later this year, they said July, but then they moved it back to late 2024, which even then is going to be like open access and stuff like that. It won't really be ready to go until like 25.
Gotta get one in there.
All of them.
Slots. The result is at KBP 24. Sorry, keep trying. You lost 50 points.
All of my streams become Path of Exile streams. I'm sorry. It's just going to be the way it is. We can still talk about politics, and I'll still cover the headlines, but then we play Path of Exile. Or PoE 2. That's what we're doing. Not today, but in the future. We definitely will. All right, starting this game. Go, go, go. Almost going. Almost going. Thinking about it. There it is. Takes a minute. Then we're going to do the webcap screen. There it is. And we're going to change it from window to game. Turn it on. Finger flicks. There you go. All right. As usual, I'm going to go grab a drink, and I'll be right back. You get to listen to this music. But I'm taking you with me because it's a cordless headphones. I bought a new microphone today. I went to the internet and found out what microphone would be good for a streamer, and I bought the cheapest one. That came with good recommendations. So I'm not going to have the wireless headset for too much longer. what I'm going to do is have one of those microphones on an arm like every other YouTuber, Twitch streamer type person in the entire world. It's about time I joined them, I suppose. That's what's been holding me back. That's what I'm thinking. That's the reason I don't get new followers. It's because I don't have one of those blatantly obvious arms for my microphone, you know?
Remember to deduct it from your Twitch revenue on your taxes.
Yeah, I don't get Twitch revenue, boss. They
Your
only pay
degenerate gambling earnings.
yeah, my degenerate gambling earnings. That's more likely. All those points KBP gives me when he loses, they're not actually money. I make jokes about all the points KBP loses when he gambles, but they're not actually money. I think I'm up to. I don't say I haven't made. I'm up to like $14 or $15 on Twitch, but they don't pay you until you get up to 50. So they just keep that $14 until next month I make one or two more, and then the next month I make one or two more until it gets to 50. Then they pay me $50 all at once. So I've yet to make any money from streaming. And YouTube doesn't start to pay you until you have over 1,000 subscribers, which I'm at 161, I want to say. So, no, I don't make any money yet. Maybe next year. Popog, did you watch The Acolyte? Did you like it? Or did you hate it? Or did you okay it? Because that was me. I was like, yeah, it's okay.
I have not watched it.
Okay. I think it's okay. It's not a horrible, steaming pile of dog shit that YouTube would have you believe, and it's not the greatest thing ever.
But I expect not to like it from early reviews.
I think it's fine. And I think it really is closer to something that... it's closer to that episode 8 than it is to episode 9, honestly. And that makes me like it more. What skills does this have? Magic Bash, I hate that. Windwalk, I hate that.
Saw the first episode, it was okay.
Yeah, it was okay. That's what I'm saying. Axes, huh? And archery boy. Going up there. Twait falling, can't reach him yet. Rain of arrows ain't gonna do me no good, so we're just gonna shoot that guy a couple times. Damn, that worked. Shinsinto, which is your favorite Star Wars movie? Which one do you like the most? Wow, that spreads all over hell and back, doesn't it?
The Christmas special.
The Christmas special? I knew it. You monster. How could you? You would. Well, that guy hits real hard, doesn't he? Okay. Axe. Intimidating Scream. And Axe Boomerang. That one is pretty cool. Okay. Axe skill, go. Okay. My archer guy. Gonna get that toit volley. Toit. Oh, okay. So, yeah, I can't talk about it. You guys all have to go watch The Acolyte so I can talk about the spoilers. There's a thing that happens. You find out in episode 3 that makes something change slightly. And I think it's brilliant, honestly.
Waldo thinks its brilliant show is confirmed to be bad now.
I know, right? But that happened. I mean, you go to Rotten Tomatoes right now, and what you'll see is like a 93 for Last Jedi from critics, and like a 30 from fans. I'm in that 93. Honestly, I'm a critic. And I think that we're in the same situation. It's the same thing happening again. The critics are going to like it, and the normie fans are not going to like it. Magey guy. I don't like this staff thingy. Honestly. It's so short range. Windwalk. It was like portion.
Well, so long as the toy companies are marketing their pop figurines to an audience of critics, I guess it'll work out okay.
I mean, the critics buy the toys. I mean, honestly, I got some back there. I don't know why they would think that the critics don't buy toys. They do. That's a good spell, though, but it's such short range, you know? I need my mage to be dropping fuckers from across the street. Around the corner. Like the archer. Look at this guy. See? Tight Valor right there, hitting all these fools. From far away.
I am not sure the volume of critics is high enough to support that size of a market a la Stack Cruiser.
I know. Which means they need to balance. Yeah, there must be balance within the force. Come on. Yeah. Which means you need a couple of movies that are bubblegum kid bullshit, and you need a couple of movies that are actual, like, movies that have plot and themes and dynamics and shit. And follow Joseph Campbell's hero circle. So you got to balance that shit out, right? Let's see, what was the last thing we got? We got the the Kenobi thing, which was what I didn't think it was very good. It had the same issues that the it had issues with pacing and not pacing, but blocking, I think is what it's called, where the people are standing, where they're going, when they're running back and forth. It was a whole thing that gave me an aneurysm during that one, and it wasn't in universe lore. It was they're in a tunnel, and one person says run through the tunnel, and then she stops, turns around, and runs back. But then the people going through the tunnel didn't see her. So it was a whole thing with the tunnel that irritated the shit out of me. But I'm rambling now. But I don't think it was real. Was it bad? It was kind of bad.
But at this point, I just don't want any more sequels or prequels or multiverses.
I agree.
Check out Waldo's videos,
https
www.youtubecom at Waldo Videos.
Well, I don't want any prequels. I don't want any more wedged in the centers. I don't know what you call it. It's not a prequel if it's wedged in the middle. I hate the fact that The Mandalorian is set in the middle between...
Cumquels.
Cumquels? Is that what they are? Something that's wedged in the middle there. I don't want it wedged in the middle. I don't want to see another Rebels that's wedged in between the past and the present. And I don't want to see another side character get their own small small little series of 7 episodes that happen in between episodes 7 and 8. Awful. I hate it. Move forward. Let's tell some stories beyond, which is why I was kind of excited about episode 8. They were like, hey, let's move forward and let's progress. Let's find out what else is going on. Or completely distance yourself from Luke Skywalker and the stuff and tell us just some fun stories, which is kind of what's happening with Acolyte. The Acolyte happens in the High Republic, which is hundreds of years before Luke Skywalker is born. So we've divorced ourselves from them completely. Yoda will probably show up on the last episode or something like that. Just so you can sell some toys. And get the nerds excited.
TV Tropes is telling me it's interquel or midquel.
Interquel or midquel? Ooh, not a sequel, it's a midquel. Okay, I've had enough midquels. But the word mid already has a whole connotation.
Half a gallon of ice cream is wonderful. Half a pickup truck of ice cream is not wonderful. Time to end the Star Wars gorging.
That's a good point, Kissing Gonzo. I like that. That all things in moderation. Is that what you're suggesting? Well, I don't subscribe because moderation is for monks. Everything in excess. I'm a hedonist all of a sudden.
Diluting a neat art form reduces its original bang for some. They spend $1 trillion, they're gonna keep the truck flowing until the vomitoriums runneth dry.
Yeah, I think you're right, Gonzo, that diluting it does lower the quality. I think you're right. And Popo, you're right. They paid a bunch of money for it. They're never going to stop. We're going to get more Star Wars every year. And are we hitting that dilution point that Kissing Gonzo is talking about? Maybe. If they keep pumping out the same thing over and over again, we would. But I like the fact that it's slightly different. This Acolyte show slightly different than the Mandalorian, which is slightly different than Ahsoka, slightly different. As long as you're changing it up, I am okay with it.
Okay, fair. I trust your judgment.
Well, I think it could get to the point. You're right, Kizingaza, that we what do they call it online? Marvel fatigue, where we're like, okay, we've had enough damn superhero movies, you know? When will the people stop showing up to look at Ant-Man? Or Spider-Man? Spider-Man, I don't think they ever stop showing up for, honestly. I'll watch a new Spider-Man movie every week. I really will. If you can knock me out another Spider-Man movie every week, I'd watch them. And even if they're bad, I'd still kind of watch them. You know, I might still have a good time riffing on the bad ones.
I've had enough live-action remakes, that's for fucking sure. Please stop, Netflix and Disney, it's time to stop.
Yeah, I agree. Well, that's the thing about the live-action remakes that I think a lot of people miss out on. I was talking to a friend at work one day who really does love One Piece. No. It wasn't One Piece. It was Borderlands. He really liked Borderlands, the video game. Thought it was a good game. Played Borderlands 3.
They keep showing up for Spider-Man's cause they reboot him once a decade.
Maybe it's because we got a different Spider-Man every time? Maybe. But a friend of mine was like very upset about the Borderlands movie. And yeah, it looks like dog shit. But what I told him was, it's not for you, man. Borderlands has lots of lore.
I wish they would make a Lobo movie, bring some metal motorcycle and murder P. It's because they turned off the Spider-Man and then turned it back on.
You gotta turn the Spider-Man off and turn it back on every now and then, so that you gotta flush that DNS. You know, you gotta flush those IP stuff like that. You gotta clear the cache. You gotta get rid of those cookies. Bring in a new Spider-Man. Good call, Popog. I think we're onto something there. But yeah, he was upset about the Borderlands movie, and I told him it's not for you. It's for people who don't play games, who think they've heard of it.
Delete Spidersman 32.
Your Spider-Man 32 folder has got to be deleted.
Yeah, Borderlands would be a fun post-apocalypse movie only if they preserve the vibe of Borderlands.
Oh, no, it does not at all. It's absolutely awful. Dude, I looked at it and I was like, God, that's going to be bad. And it is going to be bad. I mean, the trailer's out already. You can watch it. And it's just going to be not fun or good, but it's not for me. It's not for people who are already a fan of Borderlands. You already have hundreds of hours of Borderlands that you can go and dive into as a gamer and a fan of theirs. So the movie is for non-fans. It's for people who don't know what it is. That's who it's for. It's for the normies. It's for the people who don't play games all the time.
Sure, the Halo TV show is not for me or any other Halo fans, so we should continuously shit on it.
Well, it's not for you.
Same thing with the Warcraft movie.
The Warcraft movie, maybe, yeah. There's hundreds of hours of Warcraft stuff that you can do without the movie. The movie was to drag people, normies, into the universe. The Halo TV show, I would say, is the same. It was to drag normies
the slurmies,
in.
sleeping normies. I mean, maybe it's made for us to shit on.
Made for you to shit on? No, it's made for to drag normies in. And what's happening is that the internet shits on it. But the normies aren't there to see that shit. Normal people don't know that the internet shits all over the Halo TV show. They don't know. They're normies. They're not online all the time.
Art is in the eye of the beholder, is it not?
Well, sure. If you feel that's like what it's for, Popog, I guess that's a feeling you can have, and I'm not going to take that away from you. But the normies don't know that the rabid internet fandoms exist. If they knew the rabid internet fandoms existed, they wouldn't be normies. You see? They'd be a part of them, or they'd hate them the way I do, or love them the way you do. or hate some of them and love some other ones. There's one zombie, but I can't find them. Where are you at, Zombo? Hiding from me? Has he not made it yet? Oh, he's back here. He's stuck on a rock.
Perhaps art is to validate a human need to create.
Well, there's a whole lot of things you can say about art. What is art? What isn't? I had a fight with a friend of mine, an IRL friend of mine, a couple weeks back. Not calling him out or nothing, but he's not in chat right now, so I can talk about him. And what were we talking about? It was about Ruby, RWBY. I love Ruby. You say what you want, but I love it. And he said it wasn't art. And I was like, well, of course it is. Like, anything created with an intent to, like, convey feelings is art. Literally anything. He was like, well, I didn't like it, so that means it's not art. And then he and I yelled at each other for an hour. It didn't appeal to him, so it wasn't art. And then I turned that around on him and I said,
RWBY died with Monty Rip in Peace King.
I know. That was, yeah. That made me sad when I heard that news. Oh, because I loved Ruby. I loved it. It was good. And then it was right before, I want to say, the third season launched that I saw on the news. It was somebody was like, oh my God, this can't be true. And so I looked at it and I was like, he's dead. And I was like, son of a bitch. It's never going to be the same. And it was never the same. They've gotten a little bit better.
Rooster Teeth dying made me sad.
Yeah, Rooster Teeth dying earlier this year made me sad too. Hopefully they'll come back.
Even though it has been dead a long time.
Yeah. It is a thing. I'm sad to see Ruby go. I really do want more of it. But it wouldn't surprise me if they got picked up by somebody else, a Netflix or a Hulu or something along those lines. Honestly, have Amazon pick them up. They did, what was it? The Expanse, right?
But I still have my RVB t-shirt from the first run of shirts.
Yeah, there you go. That's cool. Amazon picked up and carried on with The Expanse, so I think that maybe they could do the same for Rooster Teeth. Wouldn't that be nice? Ooh.
One philosopher I can't recall, maybe Schopenhauer, something along the lines of art must serve an actual function to qualify. Who knows?
Must serve a function? Blech. I hate that answer. That's just me personally. I would say anything.
Yeah, The Expanse was brilliant. I watched it 3 times, the entire series.
Yeah, I loved it. And when it ended on Sci-Fi, I was kind of sad. I was like, oh man, they're not picking this back up. And so I did the same thing that you do every time a Sci-Fi Channel show gets canceled. You get sad and you're like, damn it, maybe I should read the books, I guess. But then it got picked up by Amazon and they gave it 2 more seasons, I want to say, and that was fantastic. I was super happy with that. I honestly thought it got better once it got on Amazon. That last season on Sci-Fi with the Belters got real bad. Like, they didn't have a writer. The Belters weren't really talking. They were just baby talking. They weren't doing like an entire dialect of a Belter dialect. They were just talking like babies. And that irritated the shit out of me. Only one side? Yeah, okay. Gonna move you there.
A function such as playing a role in politics, religion, or a community benefit, or to convey a message. Anything else that's just someone's expression without a purpose is not.
Well, convey a message. Okay, yeah. So I'm kind of on board with that definition. Because I think conveying a message is all you have to do to be art. If you're creating something, to create any message, even if that message is flowers are pretty, then by all means, you're art, you know?
I would say art is that which concretizes man's fundamental view of himself and of existence.
Concretizes man's fundamental view. Hang on, my phone's ringing. Who's calling me? Probably nobody important. I wonder where my
Some
phone
people pour paint onto a canvas and dry it with a blower, then sell it as art.
Yeah, that wouldn't be very much art, I would say, because it's not conveying anything.
Interesting Pop OG42.
Alright, let's level these fools up. It's my archer guy. Give him steady aim, sure. Has a archery right there. But yeah, I like Ruby. I like
Duct tape
Star
a
Wars.
banana to a wall is apparently art.
If you're trying to convey some sort of what's the word? Feelings with it, maybe.
But duct tape someone's penis to and apparently that's a crime.
I know, everybody, all of a sudden the rape police show up.
I have a random odd question about human behavior I'd like to talk to you about because your judgment is so consistent. Is your Discord up?
Yeah. What do you want to do? Well, you want to just type it in there, or do you want to hop onto stream to talk?
Discord. https discord gg beignet tridix 8. Alright, I gotta go put a kid to sleep.
Alright, Popog, see you in a bit.
Laters, y'all.
Good night. Thanks for coming in.
I went to a training class attended it recently and behavior I noticed and how others reacted and myself I am kinda intense, so explaining the story to you might help me evaluate my concerns.
Okay, well, if you'd like to describe anything you like in the Discord, you can do that, or you can send me a private message. I don't mind. Those are open. If you want to talk to me directly, you could do so. You've been in chat a few times. I'm not worried that you're going to act like a fool on live stream, but if you'd like that, we can do that too. Up to you. Whatever you like.
Let's try that.
Okay. We're going to do critical. All right, let me hop into voice chat. If you're in the Discord, just hop into the waiting room or the general. And then what I'll do is just drag you in there. You can't jump into the stream channel anytime you want. Only I can move people in and out of there. Leveled Geralt. There we go. And items available. Night Reward. Ooh, what is that? That's a red. Novice Home Seekers +1. Two-hand magic weapon. Absolutely. You gotta take the red one, right? Then we're gonna put it on that mage because I hate that stick. Hate that staff. What up, Stream Wizards?
Stream Jedi now.
Stream Jedi. Okay, cool. Stream
Diff
Jedi.
name, but that's me.
Okay.
What do I do? I have the Force.
You have the Force? Okay, great. Thank you, Stream Jedi. Thanks for visiting us. All right. As with you. All right. I'm going to drag you down into the stream channel. Hello, how you doing? Can you hear me? Because I can't hear you. No, I don't hear you.
Sweet Jedis, May the 4th.
I don't hear anything you're saying, if you're saying anything.
Okay, it should be coming through now.
Coming through now. Yeah, you are. How you doing?
Well, hey, thanks for picking up. I'm just trying to increase my online chatting. I've been watching Twitch for 5 years plus now, and thought I'd just start calling in and talking to folks.
Okay.
Okay. Well, look, I've watched you a lot. I wish you were on more. The conversations
I appreciate
you're
that.
having. Yeah, the conversations you're having with people is the kind of conversation I think a lot of people need to hear, because so I tune in. The calm, focused discernment is what is sorely needed. So I'm here to support that. But in that, I've learned that you've got a good rationale around you. I could throw some things at you. So I'm a person who's extremely intense when I'm when I'm not self-medicating. I'm pretty focused. I got a lot of energy. And I go to these training sessions. Just went to this training session to learn what they call Scrum Master. It's like an IT thing on process and building
Scrum.
websites.
Yeah.
You know Scrumming?
I've done it at work. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going there to get studied. I went there and they had a teacher there and a couple of other folks. And I found this a common thing when I go to training is I get into it and I'm like, nobody's asking questions. And I stimulate. I want to generate questions. I want to be included. But what I find about halfway through these sessions is everybody's looking at me like deer in the headlights, because I'm up there pushing on the trainer, pushing on the people. And when I'm at work, I kind of do the same thing. I push the envelope because I've been told you follow your heart, you drive this, you push forward. You got to ask a lot of questions. Don't be afraid to fail. I don't do it so intensely like I'm talking right now. I'm more business-like. I'll slow down. I'll try to build context around it when I'm communicating. But when I leave, I feel real fucking guilty. I feel like I missed something. I feel like I overstepped people. I feel like I got in the way. And I go and read about it and I study on it. I study psychology a bit and some philosophy, but I just can't shake this emotion that I built in me. What's your perspective? You're here out in the public. You're getting regular input from people. You're getting criticisms. You at some point you're going to have to be able to like let go of anything people say to you and not let it. It's just water off the back. As I've aged, that's built up in me. Now, I've thrown a lot at you, so I'll stop talking. And just want to see what your thoughts are around this picture, or if you have any questions for me, then I can clarify.
I think when you mentioned the being in the public eye, that there was somebody I read about who was a writer, and they said if you want to be a good writer, you have to be capable of killing your children. And what he meant by that was, you've put together this idea, this thought you have. You created a character for a D&D campaign, or you wrote a story, and it's just bad. What you have to do is just abandon it and give up on it. Or you'll create something as a creator. You'll create a thing, and then everybody will tell you it's bad. Now, you can either argue with them and try and change it to make it better, to make more people like it, or you can just say, okay, well, it's bad, and I'm going to give up on it, and I'm going to kind of kill it. I'm going to kill this thing that I love, and move on to something else. So that's what I'm thinking when you mention that. But as to intensity, I've known people who were intense before, especially in the IT field. What you generally get is the newer, younger people are more online and not super personal, not in the in public all that often. They're online, they text each other, they never talk, they send emails back and forth, and even that's kind of a push. They don't want to talk on the phone. I get it, I understand that, and they're all inclusive, or not inclusive, introverted, which is the thing I noticed from them. I think that's
okay, cool.
Largely because it's harder to talk to people these days, and it's easier to like text people. It's easier to chat with them rather than talk to them face to face. And if you are intense towards them, and not even aggressive, if you're just a bit intense or direct with them, they will feel intimidated, and it's a very strange thing.
Absolutely.
There was a manager that I worked with who um, he had to motivate his team for getting things out the door. He had to coordinate the shipments showing up, getting the devices provisioned, and getting them out the door. And there was a time limit on these things. And so he was very direct, and he was very, I'm not going to say he was aggressive. He wasn't. He was prior military, and so he was direct and he was intense. To
Yeah.
that very, I'm not going to say sheltered, but to that very not personal IT that had to work with him one time, he called it aggressive. Because he'd never seen anybody push something with a deadline, a hard deadline before.
Yeah. It was just like, wow, I never saw a witness of it. Maybe it's just a rare event. And I am like that. As being in the IT field, you have to be very tactful. You have to be very task-based and focused on time. So I get that. I want to go back quickly about
Sure.
your story about the writing. You have to kill your story, the thing that you love.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of quickly in this conversation associating that to our own identity that we built in our lives. There's parts of our identity we may have to let go of, destroy, or maybe recreate. And I think
Sure.
I'm at that point here in my mid-50s.
Yeah, I could see that being an issue. Self improvement isn't easy, and sometimes it requires deconstruction or abandonment of something along those lines, or a change in your perspective. All very difficult things to do because identity is very high. It's very difficult to change an identity. I do have a lot of Star Wars stuff back here, and I just talked about it for an hour, and I could talk about it for an hour more. That's very closely tied to my identity. If I had to give it up, it would be very difficult.
Right.
And
so I'm doing this through it.
Go ahead.
I'm listening. Well, I was just saying, I'm kind of doing this, alone, and I'm feeling kind of good about it because weirdly, I've been kind of going through it on my own and just like I've always done in my life. And it's kind of a nice surprise to look back when you start looking at the experts and talking to them. And they're like, oh, yeah, you got to do this. And then when I talk to you, you're like, oh, you might have to deconstruct yourself. That's reconfirming that, yeah, it may be hard, but I'm still able to get through it. I'm already guiding myself. So awesome, man. Thanks for that input.
Well, thanks for coming in. I always see you in chat, so it's very nice.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that at you, see what your take was. I like to keep it simple, keep it fast. I get real deep a lot, or what I like to do is call it elevating the conversation. And I want to go to the top of the mountain within 10 minutes of meeting everybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to sit around and beat around the bush and figure out how the weather's nice. No, look at those, those cool flowers in the garden. None of that. I want to, hey man, time is short. I got maybe 30 years left. So can we talk about like
what are you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. The small chat, the small talk, the jibber jabber, the chat is not. It's a waste of time sometimes. I can appreciate your stance there.
Right. And well, I mean, I get it. So it serves a good purpose when you're trying to get familiar with someone. You do a little small chat to kind of slow into it. It's kind of like a form of social foreplay. That makes sense. But just endless small talk with the same people you worked with for 3 years just ain't going to do it, man.
That makes sense.
Okay, well, thanks for hearing me. And any observations you have in my communication style, maybe my tone, maybe I'm coming off, am I dismissive? That kind of input I don't get from anybody, and I don't know you. And so I know you know only what I've talked about with you now. So your input will be pure to me if you have it. And if not, or you want to hold it and wait, that's cool too. Or if you feel like, fuck it, I don't want to say shit, I'm cool with that. So I'm hoping we can chat again in the future too.
Yeah, by all means. Hop into the Discord anytime you want to talk about stuff. And I know there was something else you reminded me of.
Oh yeah.
This might sound dismissive, not to you, but to everybody else in the world.
I'm good with.
But what was it? The guy said, "Stupid people talk about people. Regular people talk about events, and smart people talk about ideas." And You kind of reminded me of that with your getting right to the elevate the conversation bit, and I think that's an interesting.
Yeah,
because
I want to talk about your ideas in life, and you know,
Right.
and I know that's my need. My need is different than others. I get
Right.
that.
And there's 1,000 people
analogy.
online or on YouTube that are talking about other people right now, and that's not that interesting to me. You know, it's drama channels. There's a
I
million
fully agree.
YouTube drama channels that are arguing about what a person said about another person. Boring, horrible. I think they're dumb. Then there's people who
I think that's actually bad for us all. That kind
I
of
think you're right. Yeah.
open public criticism.
Yeah. And even if it was just one YouTuber beefing on another YouTuber, that sounds incredibly boring to me, and I don't care. People talking about events, that almost makes sense. I understand. I want to know what happened. Sure, that's like reporting the news. But why it happened? What was the idea behind the reason that it happened? Why did this senator vote no on this certain thing? Is there a reason for it? What were they thinking when they did so?
Exactly.
That's kind of
What's
the
their
direction. Yeah, what's the logic behind it? Yeah.
Yeah, what's the rationale? Where'd they come from? How'd they come to that conclusion? These questions don't get answered. Instead, it's superfluous, high-level shit for Joe Main Street or Mary Main Street, and it's not really for those that need to know, because this stuff is important, and it seems like the politicians are just dumbing it down every day. Clearly, I'm just adding to the pile of complaints. Don't want to do that.
No, it makes sense. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
Okay, so hey man, but also the final good win here is you turned me on to Noida, and I've been telling everybody about it.
Noita is a very good game. Yeah, absolutely. With the combo and all the spells and the stuff like that.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm not a pixel-based player. I'm a original Quaker Alpha 1 game player from back before Quake was even released. A friend had an internal copy, and we've been playing that, and he worked at Dell, and anyway, so I've been playing since those days, and it's all FPS shooter, but then pixel games never became appealing until I saw Noida.
Okay, cool.
See, man, you're spreading the good stuff out there in the internet. What is this? What's this? Hunter Guilty? I hadn't seen this one.
This one is called The Last Spell. So waves of zombos come in. My guys have to stop them. I build walls to keep them away from the mages right here who are casting the spell that will save the world.
Right on.
But they have to cast it for like 7 days straight. And I haven't won yet.
I like these types of games. The games you build them up, and
yeah, I have not won yet.
There was one I played
really
called
tough.
Area of Effect or something. You had to shoot these big cannons. It was many years ago. I've got like 60 games in my Steam list, but I can't play them. My PC died on me.
Oh yeah, that's brutal. I always
Yeah,
have that issue, is that I put together a nice PC and then something will happen. Or I'm always wanting to buy newer parts for it, but I usually don't have the money for it. It's a whole thing.
That's right. All right, is your goal here just to game, maybe chat with folks who might be interested in politics? I like that you said Waldo Politics. You're calling it out.
Yeah.
You make it super clear with your stream for me.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for. Is you've heard the other guy that's on the stream with me, Thomas, sometimes.
Once in a while, yeah.
So he's not on. He was on this past Saturday, but he's only on every couple of weeks. He's a friend of mine that I've been talking politics with for years anyway. We were in the same. We had a mutual friend through a Discord, and there was a politics channel in there that he and I would get into it all the time. And he would say something or support Donald Trump or something.
If Trump
along those
wins
lines.
in jail, what happens?
Solo Dolo 51, thanks for jumping into chat. What if Trump wins in jail? What happens? We'll get to that in a sec. Solo Dolo. But yeah, Thomas and I were discussing politics all the time, and he and I were really going into it one night. I was shooting down all kinds of stuff. I was yelling at him about how great Obamacare could be, and complaining about Trump shooting down the Iran deal, all kinds of stuff. And there were like 3 people just in that chat listening to us.
Right.
And I was like, well, why aren't we recording this? And and so then he and I just made some plans, and I've got more time than he does. So I've put the whole thing, and he's got issues where he can't be on camera and stuff like that. So he doesn't want to dox himself because he's thoroughly convinced that he's going to get canceled and destroyed because he says Republican things. I think he's exaggerating slightly, but
yeah.
but
The right
he's of that
response
mind.
to the cancelers. The right response to the cancelers is, "Oh, you have no idea how deep this well goes, babe."
Yeah, and so he's only voice on chat every now and then, and he's my conservative friend who I bring on to get his idea on what they're doing, what they're saying, and things like that. Because you can't just watch Fox News and know what they're thinking, because that's what they're telling everybody to think. So I need to know what the actual conservatives think. So that's why he's here. But I'm going to answer this person in chat real quick. Solo Dolo 51. If Trump wins in jail, what happens? I don't think he's going to go to jail, Solo Dolo. I think he is going to simply get probation and maybe at the worst a home confinement situation.
The thing is, Thomas doesn't say complete batshit things.
Right. I think Thomas, thanks Shinsunto, I think Thomas is a old-fashioned, more 1980s conservative, 1970s conservative, you know? And that's why I like him. That's why I bring him on, so he can say things that aren't completely batshit insane. But as for you, Gonzo, if that's what you want to go by, so far in talking to you, you are direct, yes. But I'm used to that. There are people who aren't. And
if he was to
it's
win in
dangerous.
jail,
Yeah,
though, how would that work?
And it's dangerous, and this is a hard problem I've had, and that's why I'm hitting you up, man. Because I watch you, and you're just like calm and chill, and focused.
Yeah, that's an issue. That's lucky for me. I had to work on that for a very long time. I wasn't like that when I was younger.
Actual physical conservative, not Looney Tunes
I
conspiracy
have
brain.
to. These days, I'm just too tired and exhausted to get angry, and that was one of the things that happened to me. Is that I was far too tired and lazy to be angry, and so that's what I think every now and then. That the getting worked up is just exhausting. So don't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't get worked up as much, but what I do, what does happen is I'll cut to the root, and I'll cut that person based on a small amount of data I've got right in half, man, right down the spine in the middle when they say some really whack shit. Okay. And I'm not attacking them. I'm not going after them in a rude or mean way, but I'll rip apart the argument, and then I will set like expectations. Like, look, man, don't bring this to me next time. Like, I'll punish them on the spot. But that's only when I'm in those intense conversations. But that's not the case. I find that my motivation to be intense is my own personal desire not to waste time, because I feel like I sit here for 3 hours listening to some people drone on, whereas if I just jumped in and said something, maybe I saved all four of us, an hour and a half worth of grief. And that's kind of my motivation, but I think it's misplaced. And your input has been quite helpful. Appreciate it.
Okay, yeah, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching the streams and stuff like that. Tell a friend,
right,
honestly. I don't get very big numbers, but if you told a friend...
I don't have many friends, but I'll tell them.
Okay, I appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks. Good night. Solo Dolo, if he was to win in jail, though, how would that work? If he were given a jail sentence and then he would still be allowed to run, that would be fine, I suppose. Hopefully, we don't have to find out. Best case scenario, we don't actually find out. If he were actually put in jail, he would still be on most of the ballots, honestly. He would be on the ballots, he would be allowed to run, and if he wins, I have a feeling that the Joe Biden would call for his release, honestly. Joe Biden's a wiener. He's always been a wiener. Joe Biden's a wimp. So he would see that he'd lost. He would accept it. He would say that it's a sad day for America, but then he would call the governor of the state. This would be New York State. And he would tell the governor to release him. And then the governor of New York would probably just release him. And then he just wouldn't be... They would commute his sentence. Commuting a sentence is a thing that government heads can do. The president can do that. And I'm willing to bet that the governor of New York could commute that sentence. That means you don't have to serve any more of it, but it's not that you aren't guilty. He wouldn't change the guilty verdict to a not guilty verdict. He would simply say, your sentence is done. You've done enough. You are now free. He would then go free, and he would go to the White House and get sworn in. I hope that doesn't happen. I don't expect him to get the jail time, but if it did, that's what would happen if he won.
Isn't Biden a buttwiener because he thinks that compromise across the aisle is still a real thing?
That's part of it, yes.
I just imagine Trump calling the shots behind bars like a mob boss LMAO.
He's behind bars, but he's doing the kingpin kind of thing where he's totally in charge of everything and all the guys. Maybe. Biden is a wiener, and that is because he thinks compromise across the aisle is still a real thing. Yes, he's soft. Most Democrats are, and that makes me sad because I want them to not be soft. I wish they were tougher. I wish they were more leftist. I wish they were pushing for progress. The issue we have, and I say this a lot, but we have do-nothing Democrats and do the wrong thing Republicans. Those are your choices. I get to vote for do-nothing Joe Biden or do all the wrong things Donald Trump. Those are my choices. And it's not fun, but sometimes doing nothing is better than doing the wrong thing.
Thus our arguments for getting more independents and progressives, not necessarily those on the far left, but leftish meh.
Yeah, and that's why I do push for leftists. I think they are progressing. They're pushing for a thing, rather than the Democrats
We've got
who are
more with
sitting
Biden than
still.
Trump so far.
We've got more with Biden than Trump. So yeah, I think you're right too. We have done Joe Biden before Israel became a giant sore spot, was doing things for unions. He was doing some union work. He was doing some. He was passing some bills and things like that were helping unions, and I think that's a good thing. The Israel thing snuck up on him, but that's not a surprise. And it's always going to be harder when there's a Democrat in office, because when the Democrat is elected, everyone in the world knows it, and everyone in the world knows that they're a bit softer and nicer and politer. So the immigrants from Mexico
CHIPS Act
start coming
infrastructure
across.
bill.
Yeah, the infrastructure bill was good too, as well as there was one other good one that I was thinking of. But the immigrants know that he's not going to lock them up and steal their children and shoot them all. So they start showing up more often. That increases the numbers. Oh, okay, yeah. The veterans bill, yeah. Then the people outside our country.
It's good cop, bad cop.
Well, kind of. So I think I see what you're going for. They had good cop, bad cop. So they
Yet
think
Obama
that that's
deported
a good cop.
more than anyone.
Yeah, Obama deported a bunch, and I don't think that was a good idea. I don't think that's a good idea at all. I think you should give them a path to citizenship. That's the way to go. Give them hurdles to jump over, that they then become citizens. If you don't set the rules, they'll never do any of the things to become citizens. If filling out the paperwork gets them arrested, they won't fill out the paperwork. So make the system where you fill out the paperwork, we document you, no longer undocumented, and then you, hell, even charge them a fine. I'm not even
help
against
them
that.
become Americans. Welcome aboard. Just follow the rules. 3.
Follow the rules, become an American, and even if part of those rules is a repayment for breaking the rules to get here. If a conservative would say, yeah, the path to citizenship should include a monetary fine for breaking the rule, I'd kind of be on board for that, because then they can just pay that into the taxes, and then that lowers the debt just by a drop. I would be okay with that. And they'd be getting something out of it anyway, and then everybody wins. And then then the conservatives don't have a leg to stand on when they complain about them not paying their fair share, or stealing or taking things from Americans, That, I think, is a good idea.
Okay.
And I know that charging immigrants a fine is kind of a bad idea, but I think it could work. And what else was I talking about? Oh, yeah, so because the Dems are seen as softer, nicer, bleeding hearts, the bad actors...
Thank you for following Solodolo51.
Solodolo, you just turned a frog gay. I appreciate it. Thank you. You turned a frog gay. Hope you're proud of yourself. The bad actors see that as well, and they start acting up. I think Hamas actually did that attack on October 7th because there was a Democrat in office. And that's not because there was a Democrat, but that's one of the things that they think about when they plan these attacks. Who's in office and who's going to stomp on us? What is going to be the consequences and repercussions? Those consequences and repercussions tend to be smaller when there's a Democrat in office. So, did they cause it? No. Are they responsible for it? No. But like, the Democrats aren't responsible for Hamas. But Hamas should, if they're working properly, take that into account.
Make it an actual path and not this unnavigable system it is right now. Had a coworker's marriage fall apart because of the immigration process is fucked.
Yeah, and it is completely fucked. There's no easy way to you can't comprehend what it is. You're stuck on hold for hours on end, trying to talk to a human being and ask them simple questions about what is and isn't part of your immigration paperwork and stuff like that. And if you do it wrong, all of a sudden you have to spend the next 6 weeks fighting to get the paperwork fixed, things like that. It's a mess. It's bad, and we should do a better job, and we should fund it. We should put people in charge there who can answer a
Russia
phone.
whispers to Iran pissed, would you influence Hamas to attack X target? Hamas complies.
Right, and Russia's more likely to do that, I think, if there's a Democrat in office. I don't think that's a leap. I mean, it is a leap, literally a leap, but I don't think it's a crazy leap. Does that mean we should never vote for another Democrat again? No, I don't think so. We should always vote for the Republicans because they're crazy cowboys and they keep everybody in line. Well, that's what they tell you. I think I was listening to Trump the other day. He was talking about how you can't vote for Hillary because she'll get us into a nuclear war. But you should vote for him because him threatening a nuclear war would keep everybody in line. And I was like, wait a minute, that was in the same speech. Don't vote for Hillary. She's going to get us into a nuclear war. You should vote for me because everybody knows how tough I am, and if they start shit, I'll start a nuclear war. And I was like, wow.
Neolibs like Biden will lock up criminals without blinking an eye.
Well, lock up criminals? Yeah, like are you saying criminals like undocumented workers, or criminals, actual criminals? How many quotation marks are around your word criminals there?
Actual criminals.
Actual criminals. Yeah, they do. They don't like crime, those Democrats. When they're called bleeding heart liberals, it's because they want some sort of not remuneration, but like correction of the criminal. They want to correct them. They will put them in jail and make them smarter, make them educate them, give them a college degree, make them fix them. I don't know if you can restorative justice. I don't know if you can restore somebody. Some people. I think lots of people can be restored, honestly. They just need the right environment to do so. I don't think jail is that environment. I think going to being a criminal, being in jail, just teaches you how to be a criminal. Like, jail's full of criminals, and they'll teach you how to be a criminal. Like, you go in there and you learn all kinds of awful things that you didn't know before.
There's value in helping people. Their recovery can contribute in a more beneficial way potentially versus doing nothing.
And I think that's a good thing to think about. Yeah, I'm agreeing with that. It's just at some point, sometimes, I don't know if you can't recover everybody, is what I'm thinking. But we should try. We should try. We should try. And if
there is a limit.
Yeah, if it's expensive to try, then that's fine.
You're right.
Damn it. He missed. But the things that aren't going to help us are blaming all our problems on immigrants. And that's the biggest thing that's going on right now is the EU elections happened the other day, and they were all about immigration. I don't know if you watched any of the EU politics that have been going on. I'm not an expert, but every damn one of them is talking about immigration.
The bigger issue is the internal American propaganda machines that have blossomed under Murdoch's attempt to poison the minds of all Americans.
Right, and that is a difficulty because I've said it before, but I think that's all based on feelings. It's very easy to make somebody feel angry towards the other people. It's very
Some
easy.
of the EU stuff a little sorry to interrupt.
No, you're good. You're good. That's how the whole system works. I'm thinking, that a lot of that EU stuff is about immigration and how they don't want the people coming to their country. And these are immigrants from somewhere else, from war-torn regions in the Middle East or from Africa or something along those lines. They do not want them coming to our European country. That's why there's a slight rightward shift right now in the EU. I think they moved to the right this past election because it's all about immigration now. Those are the people that are interested. Those are the people that are showing up to vote. The people that are keep the immigrants out of my country. And that's not a big surprise. I think they're wrong. You're not poor because a poor person came to your country. You're poor. Americans are poor because 5 companies own everything, and they decided to raise the prices. Why did they decide to raise their prices? Well, because they need this quarter's numbers to be up. If this quarter's numbers aren't up, then the CEO gets replaced and he loses his job, and then the shareholders' value falls down, and then everybody abandons it, and the entire company collapses. I think that's a bad way to run the country. But America at the moment is completely run by the shareholders. Nobody else is important. Nobody else is valuable. Just the shareholders. But this is me again screaming bloody murder about capitalism. Because it makes me mad. And Murdoch, as you're talking about, Gonzo, is part of that system. He definitely is part of that system of creating a monetary system of news that isn't really news, it's just infotainment, which is what I'm doing. I'm being honest with you. I promise you. I'm just talking out my ass. I'm giving opinions and feelings all day long, but I'm going to tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that I'm fair and balanced. Madness.
A Russian method of warfare is to divide societies by increasing world-level immigration to introduce more stress, division, and fear to reduce trust in established institutions. This time
Russia has flopped. Well, that does sometimes for some people.
Yeah, you do differentiate feelings from facts.
The Russian method there is, I don't think it's a bad thing if we handle it properly. I think we could handle it in a really good way. Make them Americans. Put them through the paces, figure out what we need to do to get them on board, and then make them go through the steps, make them go through that pathway, make them into American citizens, and then their kids will be citizens. Have you ever seen the kids of immigrants? They're just American. Have you seen the grandkids of immigrants? They're just Americans. Like, it's not like if you don't force them into enclaves, they'll just be normal Americans.
When MAGA hate our institutions instead of core, they enable Russian hate against America.
When MAGA hates our institutions instead of corps, they enable Russian hate against America. Yeah, I think you're right. I think I don't think that all the people who vote for Trump are supporting Russia. They're accidentally appreciating
But
them.
Waldo, they are brown.
But Waldo, they're brown. I know they are. I know. But listen, brown people are humans too. And if you let them live in your country, they'll become a part of your country. And this makes us better. Yeah, I think the current Republicans are accidentally supporting Russian misinformation because they're easily
Technically,
led.
we're all brown, just less shades 3.
Right. They're accidentally creating. They're actually accidentally empowering that Russian propaganda and their Russian plans by being easily manipulated by their feelings. Feelings are easier to manipulate than the American government, so just to manipulate those. That's what
At
Rupert
Waldo,
Murdoch
what
does.
kind of lunacy is that?
That's just I'm one of those crazy libs, you know. This is why they keep trying to kick me off. This is why I get canceled, because I say brown people are people. I'm gonna spend these points and then I'm gonna call it off for the night. What is that? That's a new omen. Let's do that. Let's go do there. Unlocked some new books. Hooray! I love new books. Back. Leave. Then we'll level everybody up. What do you got? Resistance, health. Health is good. Armor's better. Who is this? Is my fighter? Yeah, armor. Gotta buy you a shield too. Why haven't I got you a shield yet? Health regen, yes. Perkies. Yes.
Cool, good chats. Best to you all. It's gonna be okay.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I mean, eventually, unless it's not, in which case it's fine. Physical damage doesn't help me. Armor's blue,
Check
it's
out
kinda
Waldo's
nice.
videos. https www.youtubecom at Waldo videos.
I'm gonna stack dodge. Ooh, more bounces, but he doesn't have a bouncing skill.
GD Foos la salute.
Experience gain. There we go. All right, fine. And then we're gonna level up Leo. Move. No, he needs more mana. Yes. And then we'll give him some health regen. No. Health regen. No, give me something better. Health regen. Mana regen. There we go. See? He's gonna be casting spells like mad. Magic fuel. There we go. Boop boop. Leveled. Night reward. What we got? We got a red jacket. Cloth body armor. Making my daily health regen XP gain. Wow. +5 mana. Wow. That's great. Build some structures. We're gonna build the inn so I can buy a new person. Inn. There we go. Do I have to tear this building down first? Maybe. Let's turn this into gold. But I think I can put the inn there. I think that's how that works. Inn. There we go. I can put it there. Not that I have any money to buy a new person now. Recruit new hero. Can't. They're broke. I'm broke. Alright, next round. Unless I find some more money. Which I might. Nope, not enough. Oh well. Can't recruit anymore. Can't buy any new gear. Build defenses. We're going to need a lot on the side. Yeah, let's put a gate right there. Then some reinforced walls here, 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 here. There we go. We got all our walls. This one. Does anybody need health? Nobody needs health. Alright, we're going to end at this phase. And we're going to call it off for the night. Going to go to the main menu. Okay. Alt tab. Toss it back over to here, go to the face cam. All right, I appreciate everybody who's came in tonight. Had a lot of good discussions tonight. Thank you for coming in. I got a couple of new followers as well, so that's also super cool. If you are watching and you would like to watch old content, you can go to the YouTube page.
YouTube. https www.youtubecom at waldovideos.
You can go there and see all the old videos that I made.
Okay, bye.
Good night, Shinsinto. I take all of these streams, I cut them down into smaller bite-sized bits, and you can go there and watch individual segments about individual issues, things like that. Then, if you want to go
Discord.
join in,
https discord gg benyet tritix 8.
go to the Discord, prove that you're not a crazy person, and I'll talk to you on the live stream, as I did with Gonzo tonight. He was very cool, and I appreciate him being here. If you would like to do something like that, go to the chat a few times, prove to me that you're not a crazy person. Go to the Discord, give us your hot takes, give us your political opinions, throw some stories in there, and then we'll field them all together on the stream. And that's what we're going for here. We're feeling all the politics together, because all politics are based on feelings and everything is political. And that is my entire thesis. That's what I'm going for. And that's what I try to prove every week. That's it for me tonight. I will be back on Saturday, unless something crazy happens. If something crazy happens, then I usually jump on at night. But I'll be back on Saturday. Maybe Thomas will be here. Maybe he won't. I don't know. So that is it for me. Thanks, everybody. Have